All right, we're live.
Okay, that's good.
Fourth floor.
Thank you.
Hey, man, we're all set?
We are all set.
Okay. Good evening, welcome to the April 6th Clifton Park Town Board meeting. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, Teresa, if you could call the roll.
Councilman Whalen?
Here.
Councilwoman Sandberg?
Here.
Councilman Romano?
Here.
Councilwoman Wallowitz?
Here.
Supervisor Barrett?
Here, entertain a motion to approve town board meeting minutes of March 9th and 16th.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Mrs. Standard, second by Ms. Wallowitz. Discussion. Okay, Teresa?
Councilman Whalen?
Yes to the 6th, abstain to the 13th. Or the 9th and 16th.
Councilwoman Sandberg?
Yes.
Councilman Romano?
Abstain.
Councilwoman Wallowitz?
Yes.
Supervisor Barrett?
Yes. Communications and announcements. We are, as you can see, if you're watching this live or will watch the tape later, we are having our town board meeting here in person at Town Hall. We're making sure that we're following all the distancing guidelines. We will keep the meeting as short as possible. And just a couple of notes here. For the foreseeable future, I believe we should discuss having the meetings at 5 o'clock for operational purposes. And if there's any change to that, or if anybody has any different ideas about that, we can certainly have that discussion. But I think at this point, the 5 o'clock hour would be preferable. One important item, we had originally scheduled a public hearing for reestablishing the sewer district in the shared project between the town of Clifton Park and the town of Ballston. The discussions with the town of Ballston, it was decided that they would not move forward with their public hearing. We are 13% of that district, so therefore a minor player, and we therefore canceled the public hearing that we were to hold as well. As far as the status of the district at this point, I guess the best way to describe it would be that it is on hold, as we described at our last meeting, and I know Ballston has done the same for Ballston residents, is to describe the situation as we do need to reestablish the district due to the change in the funding number to complete the project. And also involved in that equation is a new $5 million grant from New York State, which was on top of grant money that was earlier allocated for that project. So with all that, there is the need to reestablish the district, which requires a public hearing. And then after the public hearings of the two towns are held, there is a 30-day permissive referendum period, which is part of any process that establishes a special district. The other concern not only was, how to effectively hold a public hearing, and then there are guidelines that have been sent to us by New York State that give guidance as far as how to hold public hearings, so it can be done. But the other concern was for people to have the opportunity to challenge a district through the permissive referendum period. It does require getting petition signatures. That would be another problem. Having people knocking on doors, asking people to sign a petition is not a good practice right now. the other part of that would possibly be a vote that could occur if a permissive referendum was successful, which only requires 5%. So it's a very low percentage, fairly easy to do in a project of this size. So having a vote, again, we see votes being canceled here and across the country. Not a good practice to hold a vote on anything at this particular time. So with all those challenges coming to pass, it was decided that neither town would hold the public hearing, which puts the whole project on hold for now. As that might change, we'll certainly get the word out. Set a public hearing to reestablish the district as conditions are permissible. So I just want to make sure everybody was aware of that. We unfortunately were informed just late this afternoon that there were 3 new people that were deceased. And unfortunately, we had two men in their 80s from Clifton Park who fell ill and passed away. And our condolences and thoughts and prayers are with those victims and their families. Just terrible to receive that news, and to know that people in our town, county, state, and country are dealing with this virus that has been moving steadily through all communities. So we're very saddened to learn about that. There's been some news overall about New York that has been considered positive as far as trends of people being hospitalized and and other metrics that are being studied from a macro view. But none of that really is very, very heartening, at least when you consider that you have these types of dreadful situations occurring so close to home here in Clifton Park and Saratoga County. So of course we do hope that overall the trends remain good, that there's real light at the end of the tunnel, that we're moving in the right direction as far as the effects of the virus are concerned. No way to know at this point for sure, but we're all praying for that, and I just hope beyond hope that we don't lose anybody else here in town, the county, state, or across the country. So we did receive that terrible news this afternoon. There's so many people to thank as we've experienced a shutdown in New York State and obviously many parts of the country. People have banded together here in Clifton Park, and I can't thank these people enough. And when this is over, and it will end, I believe Clifton Park and really any community has the opportunity to come out of this whole situation better than where we were when we entered. But until that time, and until we can put this virus in the situation we're experiencing now in the rearview mirror, we will recognize all of the volunteers that have just stepped up beyond belief 7 days a week to help neighbors in their community. I mean, it's just been fantastic. One such event was something that we hastily put together a couple of weeks ago on a Thursday afternoon. We got the idea and put the word out, and on Saturday we collected 6,000 pounds of food for Captain. They're almost done with that 6,000. They continue to come pick it up piece by piece and replenish the Captain Food Pantry. But it was just a great outpouring of support and generosity from people at Clifton Park, and we can't thank you enough. We've decided, since we are low on inventory for the pantry, that we would do another food collection, which we just sent out a press release this morning about that. And that'll take place this Friday, the 10th, from 9 to 3 at the Clifton Park Senior Community Center. We'll have a couple of town pickup trucks parked there. You can just drive up, put your donation in the back of one of the trucks. Our volunteers that'll be there just to answer any questions will give you a thank you wave, and then you're on your way. So we would appreciate any additional donations that people can contribute this Friday from 9 to 3. You know, we have a lot of neighbors who are hurting. It's, you know, in our hospitality industry and so many other industries that are vibrant in Clifton Park and Saratoga County throughout the year, you know, those people lost their jobs right away. As soon as there were shutdowns, the first thing that was shut down was public places like restaurants and any gathering place. And those people lost their jobs right away, and they and many others. And it's a challenging situation for a lot of folks. So the need that Captain Pantry and other similar entities are experiencing is growing, and we're trying to do whatever we can to fill that gap before hopefully things are normalized in the near future. So that will be this Friday. The other thing we're trying to do is, you know, a lot of seniors are smartly staying at home, and that's a good thing, and we want to promote that. So I want to thank folks here for the great work that's being done to help senior citizens in our community with groceries and running other errands. It's all being coordinated here, but we couldn't do it without the volunteers. It's just been fantastic. I want to thank Councilwoman Standard, Raina Manafo in particular, for helping to coordinate those efforts. And we're all pitching in 7 days a week. Like I said, we have a whole list of volunteers, and I don't want to leave anybody out. So we're going to recognize, I've asked Matt to come up with a certificate so we can recognize not only individual volunteers, but also the businesses and organizations that have stepped forward to support fellow Clifton Park residents. So we're going to continue with that process of helping people stay home, because they should stay home. There's many seniors that should not be out and about in the community. And if we can help them stay home by running some errands, doing some grocery shopping, then that's something that we should do, and we will do. I want to also mention our senior van service continues to operate. There are still many medical appointments that people need to attend. Dialysis is a big one. So we're still doing a lot of driving people, a lot of transports to dialysis and other similar medical needs. So I want to thank our senior van drivers and dispatchers for continuing to work hard. I want to thank all the people that are working hard in the town. All of our departments are open and operating. We have our workforce levels have been minimized incredibly. So we're we're to the point with the workforce levels we have, all of the departments are operating, but at a level that we're just trying to maintain what we have and to keep things together and operating. So that's where we are. So we're operating, we're running as an organization, we're up and running, but not, certainly not anywhere near the extent we were prior to the workforce level reductions that were ordered by the governor. One of the businesses, 3N Document Destruction, was incredible help when we did the first food drive for Captain. Another business that's really stepped up is Ravenswood Restaurant. I'll ask Councilwoman Standard to talk about that real quick, and also, our Are You OK program, which is something we've had for about 20 years, where we call seniors who have registered, and Councilwoman Wallowit's been working hard on that with others. So maybe you want to talk a little bit about Ravenswood.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Supervisor. The volunteer effort that has stepped up to help the community in the past 3 weeks has been incredible. And I want to personally thank right now all of our volunteers, and like Mr. Supervisor said, we will be acknowledging each volunteer for their efforts. They really have stepped up and done some pretty incredible things in these past 3 weeks. Some pretty difficult things too for our most vulnerable population. And Ravenswood has stepped up. They have been donating meals 3 days a week to folks who cannot and should not get out and enjoy a restaurant meal. So it really has been an incredible effort from Ravenswood. We have a lot of volunteers who have been volunteering to deliver those meals in a safe manner to folks who, really could use a little bit of comfort in their homes at this time. And so I really want to thank the volunteers, the drivers, and Ravenswood for doing that. It means so much to the recipients of these meals. These people it's bringing them comfort to know that they live in such an incredible community. And through this process, if there's anyone out there, we have been actively searching for residents who may benefit from this program. Councilwoman Wallowit has been calling people to see what their needs are. And so thank you for helping with that. So it's the Are You OK program, in addition to our grocery and our meal delivery program. If we have not called you, and if you are interested, if you need that help, please call here at Town Hall at 518-371-0083, and we can assess your need and help you with what you need. Get you a nice warm meal, bring some basic necessities to your home, again, all in a safe manner. So you can also, we do need some more volunteers. Ravenswood has stepped up. Our need is increasing, and Ravenswood is stepping up with meeting that need, and they've committed to more meals. With that, we do need more drivers delivering meals. And if you are interested, please email me at astandard@cliftonpark.org. You can also call 371-0083 or email Supervisor Barrett at pbarrett@cliftonpark.org. We have a protocol set up to keep you safe as well. And we don't ask any of our drivers to do anything extensive. The time commitment is minimal, but you are bringing a lot of hope to a lot of people in our community. And again, if you're interested in volunteering for that, that would be much appreciated. The food donations, that was an incredible effort. 6,000 pounds of food delivered to Captain, and there's a lot of folks that Captain is feeding right now. I know that their clientele has been increasing as well. So if you can drop off some food for a food drive on Friday, it would be very much appreciated. So I just wanted to mention our cleanup operation that we have going on. throughout the past 3 weeks, when the sunshine was out, we were receiving pictures of people enjoying our trails and our parks and our preserves and all the open spaces that we have to offer. And we were trying to consider what to do for our annual cleanup day, which, you know, every year we usually get 450 volunteers out there cleaning up our parks and preserves. But people were doing it on their own. People were out there with their kids, and they were cleaning up. And so instead of doing an organized day like we do every year, we have decided to, we still are providing bags for folks if they want to get out there with their families. And bags can be picked up here at Town Hall in the vestibule. You don't need to come in. You can just help yourself to one bag. Actually, email us at Town Hall, please, so that we can assign a location to you, and we'll go through the process. But there's also a safe protocol set up for that initiative. But we've gotten a lot of people out there cleaning up our parks, our trails, and our preserves, and it's really nice to see people out there utilizing our open space. And it's been really a healthy initiative for people, and I'm glad that we are providing that opportunity for people to be out there and have that opportunity and be in an environment that doesn't put them at risk, because there's a lot of open space out there. So, thank you.
Very good. Yeah, I mean, we've received so many contacts from residents wanting to be involved, wanting to help, wanting to work on behalf of their neighborhood, the town, their fellow Clifton Park residents. And so we've, you know, we usually have a cleanup day in April where we get 300 to 400 volunteers that congregate in one day. They're working in separate areas, but it is a one-day event. With the current situation that we're experiencing, people still want to be out there and help and clean up. So clean up our town and the parks and trails. So allowing having a semi-structured, I guess, event that people can go when they get the chance. They can practice all the correct social distancing and still contribute in a major way to the general well-being of the town, and that's I know very important to a lot of folks. So, yeah, that program is still running. I do want to mention the current workforce reductions that have been in place. The original date that they were to end was April 1st. That has been extended through April 15th. And very likely will be extended further. So like I said, we do have every department operating at a very low, I mean, a lot of departments, there's only one person in the department, but we do have people coming in and also some working from home when they can. But this virus will end. And when the virus is behind us in the rear view and public places start to open up again, and of course we have no idea when that'll be. But if it occurs prior to the summer, during the summer, people will want to send their kids to camp and attend the pools and all the public events and amenities that we all enjoy. Thousands and thousands of Clifton Park residents enjoy each year. So we need to continue to prepare to have those programs and amenities ready. And that's what we're doing. You know, Teresa Grobston, our town clerk, I mean, she's still issuing many different types of permits, certificates, on a regular basis. So, I mean, I could go through every department, but every department has a great deal of work to do. Our senior center's been closed for weeks, but we still have employees working there, and it's busy between reaching out to seniors to make sure they're okay and to see how they're doing. They're receiving many, many calls during the day, questions that seniors have about different things that are occurring in town and otherwise. So everybody's very busy. Our highway department, our buildings and grounds departments, those are our two largest departments. They're working at half strength, but still out there getting important tasks done each day. We will continue with our infrastructure projects. One such project is the roof of Town Hall, which we have engineers looking at that now, and that's going to be a project that, one project in particular, that will probably need to get done sooner than later. As we go forward as a town, and this is also a discussion we've tried to get started at the county too, there's going to be a significant loss in revenue across the board. Every government's revenue sources will be reduced significantly. So we need to be able to properly react to that reality. So one way you do that is by good preparation. Have we prepared? Oh yeah, we have aggressively saved money and reduced debt over the years. So that puts us in a very enviable position moving forward. We've been criticized. We've been criticized quite a bit for saving too much money, for our fiscal management being overly conservative, which I never quite understood, even in good times. And it's certainly a good idea that we did take that stance, because now when we're in situations like this, Clifton Park will remain strong through this very difficult time. And again, it all depends on how long it goes on. And none of us have the ability to see into the future. But every day that goes on, every day that this current situation continues, is another negative day for the fiscal status of just about every business and certainly every government. And that's a reality that we're facing, but we're ready, we're prepared. Several years ago, when banks, the interest rates were basically zero, we borrowed money, not because we necessarily needed to at that time, but we wanted to complete some additional infrastructure projects. And since the money was just about free, it made sense to do that. I think we're going to be in another situation like that soon. And that's something that I have Mark watching for the last 2 weeks. When would be the right place to enter? You see the 10-year bond way under 1%. Oil prices in 26 bucks a barrel, last I heard today. So, some of these opportunities are there if we plan correctly. If you're prepared and you can plan correctly and execute the plan, you can make a very bad situation a little less bad. I mean, that's about the only way to really phrase it. And right now, that's what we need to do. We need to take a bad situation and mitigate it at every turn. We're prepared to do that. We're going to plan. We'll have a plan moving forward, and we'll properly execute that plan. So right now, we're all about mitigating what we know will be a very negative situation on the revenue side for every government. Another senior program that continues is the lunch program. Obviously, the senior center has been closed for a number of weeks, so there's nobody can come in and have the lunch as they might do on a daily basis, but we're still delivering. And it is a way to keep people home. So we're making sure people know about this. If they can have lunches and dinners delivered, which they will do periodically, to get somebody through the week. that this is another option to allow people to stay home, but do it in a safe and secure manner. So that's another thing that we're mentioning to seniors on a regular basis. We opened the golf course this weekend, and the golf course, like our parks, are incredibly important to people, probably more than ever, considering the fact that many people are home. The weather has been decent as we get into spring here, and people need an outlet for their physical and mental health. So maintaining our parks, making sure they're safe is the job number one for the Buildings and Grounds Department. At their reduced workforce levels, the golf course is another option that we can offer people as a diversion and an opportunity to get outside and recreate. Um, we did take a lot of precautions to basically eliminate the need for interaction between golfers and the attendant that we have on duty at all times. People can pay online or by check. They put the online receipt or check in a box at the attendant's booth, and there's no cash exchanging hands. We're not selling tees and other things that we usually do, golf balls, out of the attendant's booth there like we normally do. So we're not making any transactions. So there's really, so we've cut down on any of the need for that interaction between golfers and the attendant. We've also established a system online, so when you pay online and register, you select the tee time, and that's to put some distance between people arriving at the golf course. We've eliminated the pins. The cups are raised up above ground level, so the ball, there's no hole for the ball to go into. So as your ball hits the cup and bounces off, you're done. You're done for the hole. So that way you're eliminating touching pins, reaching into the hole, those types of things. So it's just another way to eliminate any object that a golfer would touch as they're playing. The other thing, we usually have pull cards. We eliminated those as well. You can bring your own, but we will not offer pull cards to golfers. So we appreciate everybody's patience as we work through the situation we're experiencing. We're working longer hours than normal. 65-hour weeks have become longer, and we have volunteers working 7 days a week to assist people through our programs. So I just want to thank everybody's effort for standing up. We had the golf course will be open 10 to 6. This weekend, for instance, Lori Hughes, who works in our parks department, she took 2 shifts of 4 hours. She worked there 8 hours. No extra pay, didn't even ask, wasn't even discussed. She volunteered. So we have people I know that have, I think Teresa and her office came in, and when we had that 6,000 pounds of food, they came in and sorted it all and made it a little easier for Captain when they come to pick it up. So we have town employees that are coming in on their own time to do things and support our efforts. They're helping with deliveries and many other things. So I just want to thank them so much. And, because we have older folks, seasonal employees that work as attendants at the golf course, they didn't feel comfortable coming in. We said, that's fine, make it a mutual decision. But, I was glad they didn't want to come in because it just didn't make sense for them to come in. And I told them, don't worry, your job is still here. When we're ready to have you back, your job is still here. And I know they worry about losing their job, but that won't happen. So I took the other 8 hours, and Lori had 8 hours, and we got through the weekend. This week, you have town employees coming in to fill the slots for the Buildings and Grounds Department. And I'd have to look at my list again. I put together the list quickly, but all the departments are helping out with 4-hour shifts, and can't thank them enough. So thank you, everybody, very much for pulling together when we need you the most. And that's really what we should be doing as government. You know, we're in the people business, we're in the service business. This is the business we've chosen, and it's now, these are the types of situations where government should be exemplary in its method of service and ability to adapt to changing conditions, maintain operations, but also increase services to our residents. And that's exactly what we've done here in Clifton Park. Any other updates or discussion points? Okay. I should have mentioned, we do have Councilman Whalen, who's on the speakerphone. So if you hear a voice that sounds like they're on the speakerphone, he is there. So when we vote, I just wanted, so if anybody's watching, and that's why you might hear a little difference in the sound, but we are all here. The town board is here through the new regulations from and guidance from New York State. This type of, you can use different types of methods to hold public meetings. And so what we're doing here is more than fits into the guidelines that were established. So I'll ask Teresa to read through the resolutions, please, and then we'll consider each one individually.
Okay, a resolution recognizing Arbor Day 2020, whereas in 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for the planting of trees, and whereas this holiday, called Arbor Day, was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska, and whereas Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world, and whereas trees can reduce the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cutting heating and cooling costs, moderate the temperature, clean the air, produce life-giving oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife. And whereas trees are a renewable resource, giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products. And whereas trees in our town increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of businesses areas, and beautifying our community. And whereas trees, wherever they are planted, are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board urges all citizens to celebrate Arbor Day and to support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands. And be it further resolved that the town board urges all citizens to plant trees to gladden the heart and promote the well-being of this and future generations. A resolution adopting a local law adjusting permit fees for the town transfer station, whereas section 97(3)(a) of the town code contains the fee schedule for residents wishing to use the transfer station by permit, and whereas on March 16, 2020, the town board held a public hearing on a proposal to adjust the permit fee slightly for the 2020 annual season, and whereas the transfer station provides efficient and effective service for a drop-off household garbage, bulk waste items, as well as in a wide variety of recyclables. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board adopts local law number 2 of 2020 attached, adjusting the annual permit fees for the primary permits as attached, and be it further resolved that the bulk item fee schedule is amended as attached, and that the transfer station and town clerk are authorized to publish the attached schedule for both items. A resolution authorizing the purchase of an ADA compliant shuttle bus for the Senior Express shuttle service. Whereas Town Supervisor Philip Barrett has requested authorization for the purchase of a new shuttle bus for the senior van service per the attached, and whereas the General Municipal Law Section 103(16) authorizes the extension of equipment configurations and awarded pricing discounts to all political subdivisions in New York State based upon qualified bid responses to an individual municipality entity after public notice and bidding, and whereas a request for bids was published and bids were opened on March 13, 2020, and whereas Mr. Supervisor Barrett has recommended that the 2021 Elkhart Coach EC2 with standard equipment and options as per the attached bid submission from Matthew Bus Alliance Incorporated from Orlando, Florida, be accepted to best meet the needs of the Senior Express for a price not to exceed $59,963. Now therefore be it resolved that the supervisor is authorized to purchase a 2021 Elkhart Coach EC2 with standard equipment and options from Matthew Bus Alliance Incorporated, 4802 West Colonial Drive, Orlando, Florida, per the attached list, and be it further resolved that the Brooklyn Park Town Board hereby authorizes the purchase in an amount not to exceed $59,963 to be paid with a transfer from unassigned fund balance, general fund senior support equipment. A resolution awarding the bid for pool chemicals for the Barney Road, Locust Lane, and Burning Bush pools for the 2020 season, whereas on April 3rd, 2020 bids were received for the above referenced contract, and whereas the supervisor has recommended that the bid for pool chemicals for the 3 town pools be awarded to Surpass Chemical Company Incorporated for the following amounts: sodium hypochlorite, $1.24 per gallon; cardboard bleach, $7 for a 5-gallon container; muriatic acid, $3.35 a gallon; rum deposit, $8 per carboy; sodium bisulfate, 57 cents per pound. Now therefore be it resolved that the town of Brooklyn Park hereby accepts and awards the above referenced bid to Surpass Chemical, 1254 Broadway, Albany, New York, to be paid as follows: from line Barney Road pool supplies, Locust Lane pool supplies, and Country Knolls pool supplies in accordance with the amount used at each pool. A resolution hiring seasonal lifeguards and head lifeguards for the 2020 summer season for Barney Road, Country Knolls, and Locust Lane pools, whereas the town board wishes to hire lifeguards and head lifeguards to maintain a safe environment at the pool, town pools, as well as assist in the management of those pools at Barney Road, Country Knolls, and Locust Lane pools, whereas the supervisor has recommended that the attached list of individuals be hired on the stated start dates as lifeguards and head lifeguards at the attached rates. Now therefore be it resolved that the individuals attached shall be hired as lifeguards and head lifeguards for the Barney Road, Locust Lane, and Country Knolls pool for the 2020 season to be paid at the rates as attached. A resolution scheduling a public hearing regarding extension number 1 to Dutch Meadows Sewer District number 1, whereas the town board proposes to create extension number 1, the extension to the Dutch Meadows Sewer District number 1, and whereas a map plan report, the maps and plans have been prepared by Lansing Engineering and dated April 1st, 2020 in a manner and detail as determined by the town board regarding the proposed extension, and whereas the map and plans have been filed in the town clerk's office and are available for public inspection during regular business hours, and whereas the properties within the proposed extension are as listed in Exhibit A to this resolution and are generally known as 92, 94, 96, 98, and 102 Hubs Road. And whereas the sewer system improvements proposed to be constructed in and for the extension, the improvements consist of the construction and acquisition of new gravity sewer lines and related sewer infrastructures and furnishings, machinery, equipment, and apparatus required in connection therewith. And whereas the estimated maximum amount to be expended for the improvements, including design, construction, and administrative costs, is estimated to be $28,200 and will be borne by the project owner developer without capital costs or bonded indebtedness to the new extension. And whereas the proposed method of financing the cost of the improvements consists of private construction of the improvements by the developer with subsequent dedication to the town as commissioners of the Dutch Meadows Sewer District number 1. And whereas the annual cost of the proposed extension to the typical property in the extension is estimated to be $556 per year, consisting of ad valorem assessments and $247 in sewer charges payable to the county, Saratoga County Sewer District number 1, and $160 for the Dutch Meadows Sewer District number 1. And whereas the estimated cost of the hookup fees to the typical property as part of the extension is anticipated to be $1,000, and whereas each homeowner within the district will also be required to purchase and install grinder pumps to make the system compatible with Dutch Meadows gravity-based sewer mains, resulting in an anticipated year 1 capital cost of up to $10,000. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board will hold a public hearing to hear all persons interested in the extension and the proposed sewer system improvements, with which public hearing shall be held in the Woodland World Room, 1 Town Hall Plaza, in the town of Pleasant Park on April 20th, 2020 at 7:05 p.m. And be it further resolved and ordered that the town clerk give notice of such hearing by publishing in the official town newspaper a copy of this resolution and by posting a copy of this resolution on the town's official signboard not less than 10 or more than 20 days before such hearing.
One thing there, if we are to continue with 5 o'clock meetings, that would have to be 5:05.
Okay.
If that is agreeable to everybody.
A resolution extending a print alliance 1-point agreement for fulfillment of printer toner cartridges by National Business Technologies, whereas by resolution number 49 of 2019, the town entered into a 12-month agreement with National Business Technologies, 505 Brantford Street, Albany, New York, for a comprehensive purchasing of the town's printer toner cartridges at the lowest cost and including additional services of repair and maintenance to applicable printers, and whereas the agreement provided for extension upon mutual consent in writing, and therefore, whereas the supervisor's office has recommended that the agreement be extended for 36 months, now therefore be it resolved that the Clifton Park Town Board hereby authorizes the contract to National Business Technologies at an estimated annual cost of $5,730 per year for a 36-month commitment to be charged from Town Hall office supplies, and be it further resolved that the agreement may be extended upon mutual consent in writing. A resolution authorizing the hiring of campsite directors for the full-day camp and 4 half-day camps and the preschool camp for the 2020 season. Whereas the town board wishes that staff be hired by the Department of Parks and Recreation to operate the town of Clifton Park 2020 summer recreation programs, whereas Marla Kramer, Director of Parks, Recreation, and Community Affairs, has recommended that the individuals listed in Schedule A attached here to be hired for such purpose. Now therefore be it resolved that the campsite directors listed in Schedule A attached here to shall be hired to staff the town of Clifton Park summer recreation programs, and be it further resolved that all hires are effective with start dates and ending dates as per Schedule A. A resolution hiring camp counselors and specialists for the 2020 full day and 4 half-day camp, summer day camp program. Whereas the town board wishes to hire returning staff members for operation of the town's summer day camp program, and whereas Myla Kramer, Director of Parks, Recreation, and Community Affairs, has recommended that the individuals listed in the attached schedules A and B be hired. Now therefore be it resolved that the individuals listed in the attached schedules A and B be hired as staff for the town's 2020 day camp program, effective dates as noted on the schedules, and be it further resolved that the staff be paid as indicated on schedules A and B. A resolution awarding the contracts for fireworks for the town of Clifton Park's 4th of July celebration to Santora's world famous fireworks, and authorizing the supervisor to sign the agreement for same. Whereas bids are solicited for the annual 4th of July fireworks display and opened on March 19, 2020, and whereas Santora's world famous fireworks, 846 Stillwater Bridge Road, Schaghticoke, New York, has submitted the sole bid in the amount of $17,250 for a 20-minute musically choreographed pyrotechnic display, and whereas Myla Kramer, Director of Parks and Recreation and Community Affairs, has recommended that the bid of Santora's world famous fireworks in the amount of $17,250 be accepted. Now therefore be it resolved that the bid for the 4th of July fireworks display be awarded to Santora's world famous fireworks, Schaghticoke, New York, at a cost not to exceed $17,250 as budgeted from Festivals Performing Arts 4th of July Festival, and therefore be it further resolved that the supervisor is hereby authorized to sign an agreement reflecting the above terms, subject to review and approval by the town attorney of the agreement. Resolution number 73 of 2020, a resolution recognizing the Arbor Day 2020. So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mrs. Standard, second by Ms. Wallowitz. Mr. Whalen, did you want to say something about the resolution?
Sure, so this resolution is Arlington Town annually has celebrated Arbor Day. And this is the first time we've adopted a resolution recognizing Arbor Day. So the town is certainly happy to recognize an important day in Arbor Day. Certainly, you may mention earlier regarding the town's wonderful outdoor facilities, parks and recreation and whatnot. So I think recognizing Arbor Day is certainly important.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, that's another important point I wanted to make. As you drive by certain parks, and I don't think I've ever seen our parks used as much as they are over the last couple of weeks at any one time anyway. So you have many more people at a park at one time than normal. So when you drive by a parking lot and you see a lot of people in the parking lot, just as you would in a grocery store or anywhere else that you're going where there might be people around, just be very cautious and careful when you're in the parking lot and when you're in the park. But once you get into the park, there's plenty of space. I started to think this weekend of the number of acres we have in a lot of our parks. The Bishop Ferry Preserve's 300 and change, Dwaskill Nature Preserve 250, Garnsey 150, and with another 90 off Waite Road now. The Veterans Park, we've added over 100 acres to that park, so we're looking at a couple hundred there. Northwood Preserve off Shadowwood Drive's another 90. Kings Road Park's roughly 70 acres. I could go on and on here, but you get the picture. Once you get into the park, there's a lot of acreage. So there's a lot of room. So don't get nervous if you see a lot of people in the parking lot. But if you do go when the parking lot's full, just be very careful. That's all. Okay. Very good. Teresa?
Councilman Whalen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Standard?
Yes.
Councilman Romano?
Yes.
Councilwoman Malowin? Yes. Supervisor Barrett?
Yes.
Resolution number 74 of 2020, a resolution adopting local law number 2 of 2020, adjusting permit fees for the town transfer station.
So moved.
Second?
Moved by Mr. Romano, second by Mrs. Standard. So we have begun this process and we're following through the new hours, and I've received a lot of positive comments about the new hours that we propose to begin next week, this week. Yeah, we're going to begin tomorrow. And boy, I tell you, 3 weeks seems like a year, doesn't it? I mean, it's amazing. I think back to our world 3 weeks ago, and it's amazing. But so yeah, they're scheduled to start tomorrow. Obviously, that's been put off. The transfer station is open half the amount of hours, roughly. We wanted to remain open Tuesday through Saturday as we normally are, to hopefully spread the amount of people coming to the facility at any one time, reducing the amount of people coming at one time. I figured if we open full days or shorten, but only for maybe 2 or 3 days, that would drive more people to a more condensed period of time. Or if we just, reduce the number of days altogether. This seemed to be the best way to hopefully spread the amount of people coming to the transfer station, because we were trying to avoid huge rushes of people at any one time. It's been somewhat successful, but I know Saturdays have still been extremely busy. So if you usually go on a Saturday, maybe most people have more flexibility now than usual. So if you can pick another day, we'd appreciate it. But those hours that we did approve will begin once the virus situation has run its course. And I know many people are looking forward to that. Also, the bulk waste program is moving forward. April 13th is the first day for pickup. However, you will get a letter 2 weeks in advance from County Waste. County Waste won the bid. You'll get a letter 2 weeks in advance from them stating the week that is assigned to your area of town, what day to put out your items, and what you can put out and what you can't put out. Okay, so all of that information is coming to you for one section of town, the northern part of town. You should have already received your letter. So what we don't want to happen is everybody in town puts their bulk items at the curb on April 3rd, in advance of April 13th, for instance, and then we have stuff sitting out there for 2 or 3 weeks. What'll happen is stuff left out will get wet, will get heavier, will break apart, and it just slows the whole process. They get through the pickup run each week very much slower. We've had instances where they've gone into another week because of this. So please don't put out your items for the bulk waste until you see what your date is that it's going to occur. Also, you can donate to Habitat for Humanity at the transfer station. So for more information on that, you can call the Habitat for Humanity Restore in Albany. And if you have something they want, they'll come get it. If you can't get it to the transfer station. Okay, any discussion? Okay, Teresa?
Councilman Whalen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Standard?
Yes.
Councilman Romano?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wallowitz?
Yes.
Supervisor Barrett?
Yes.
Resolution number 75 of 2020, a resolution authorizing the purchase of an ADA compliant shuttle bus for the Senior Express Shuttle Service.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Ms. Wallowitz, second by Mrs. Standard. We had 4 bids. The lowest was Matthews Bus, and half of the cost will be funded through grant, Saratoga County Office of the Aging. So the town of Clifton Park will be responsible for half the cost. Discussion. Okay.
Councilman Whalen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Standard?
Yes.
Councilman Romano?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wallowitz?
Yes.
Supervisor Barrett?
Yes.
Resolution number 76 of 2020, a resolution awarding the bid for pool chemicals for the Barney Road, Locust Lane, and Burning Bush pools for the 2020 season. So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mrs. Standard, second by Ms. Wallowitz. Discussion. Okay, Teresa.
Councilman Whalen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Standard?
Yes.
Councilman Romano?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wallowitz?
Yes.
Supervisor Barrett?
Yes.
Resolution number 77 of 2020, a resolution hiring seasonal lifeguards and head lifeguards for the 2020 summer season for Barney Road, Country Knolls, and Locust Lane pools. So moved. Second.
Moved by Mrs. Standard, second by Ms. Wallowitz. We're moving forward with supplies as well as hiring. So the hiring for seasonal positions in the summer continued. The interviews were conducted by phone. Okay.
Councilman Whalen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Standard?
Yes.
Councilman Romano?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wallowitz?
Yes.
Supervisor Barrett?
Yes.
Resolution number 78 of 2020, a resolution scheduling a public hearing regarding extension number 1 to Dutch Meadows Sewer District number 1.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Romano, second by Ms. Wallowitz. There's 5 properties involved in this initiative. And we will need to hold a public hearing for this, to move this forward. We will have a letter from each of the 5 property owners who are affected by this action. They will be requesting the town board to approve the district. So we'll have in writing the fact that the 5 people involved say yes. So that'll make our public hearing process a little easier. So I know I talked to Mike O'Brien, and he said that was, I asked him if that's something that we could do on this particular project. He said he didn't believe there was going to be any issue, that these 5 property owners definitely want this to move forward. Okay, discussion. Okay, Teresa.
Councilman Whalen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Standard?
Yes.
Councilman Romano?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wallach?
Yes.
Supervisor Barrett?
Yes.
Resolution number 79, 2020, a resolution extending a Trent Alliance 1.0 agreement for fulfillment of printer toner cartridges by National Business Technologies.
So moved.
Second?
Moved by Ms. Wallen, second by Mrs. Standard. Discussion. Okay, Teresa.
Councilman Whalen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Standard?
Yes.
Councilman Romano?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wallach?
Yes.
Supervisor Barrett?
Yes.
Resolution number 80 of 2020, a resolution authorizing the hiring of campsite directors for the full day camp and 4 half-day camps and the preschool camp for the 2020 season. So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mrs. Standard, second by Mr. Romano. Discussion.
Councilman Whalen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Standard?
Yes.
Councilman Romano?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wallach?
Yes.
Supervisor Barrett?
Yes.
Resolution number 81 of 2020, a resolution hiring camps counselors and specialists for the 2020 full day and 4 half-day summer camp, day camp programs. So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mrs. Standard, second by Mr. Romano. Discussion. Okay, Teresa.
Councilman Whalen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Standard?
Yes.
Councilman Romano?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wallach?
Yes.
Supervisor Barrett?
Yes.
Resolution number 82 of 2020, a resolution awarding the contract for fireworks for the Town of Clifton Park's 4th of July celebration to Santoros World Famous Fireworks and authorizing the supervisor to sign the agreement for same. So moved. Second.
Moved by Mrs. Standard, second by Ms. Walloway. And it's our intention to have fireworks in July. I understand that, I should also make this point that, you know, we're not blindly signing contracts. You know, the contracts are contingent on our being able to actually have the event. So whether it's pool chemicals for the pools or fireworks for July 4th, obviously if we cannot host people at the pools, we're not going to be locked into a contract to buy chemicals we don't need. We can't have July 4th festivities. We're not going to have to pay for fireworks that we can't use. So I just want to make that point as well. We're moving forward, planning as if we are going to have all of these events in camps, programs, and the pools. If by chance occurs that we cannot, we will not be locked into these contracts. So I thought that was an important point. I should have made it early. There you go. All right.
Councilman Whalen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Standard?
Yes.
Councilman Romano?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wallach?
Yes.
Supervisor Barrett?
Yes, any other business to come before the board? Okay, I want to thank everybody for their continued work and flexibility in this manner. And I want to thank Teresa, our town clerk, for the great job that she's doing serving residents each and every day. This is another thing on social media and our website, been highlighting different town employees that are working hard through this challenging circumstances and getting the job done, rising to the occasion. And as far as the town board, I think I can speak for all of them that we thank you all for what you're doing. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion made.
Second.
Moved by Ms. Wallowitz, second by Mrs. Standard. Before we do that, I'll ask that we leave one at a time. So Teresa, if you would leave first, and Ms. Wallowitz after that, Mrs. Standard, and Mr. Romano, and be the last one out.
Councilman Whalen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Standard?
Yes.
Councilman Romano?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wallowitz? Yes. Supervisor Barry?
Yes, thank you. Be safe and be well, everybody.
Good night, James.
Good night, thank you.
Say goodnight.
Good night, Johnny.